Hi, everybody! Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the intense developments unfolding in Port Charles, where alliances shift, regrets surface, and desperate measures come into play for the sake of family bonds. In the heart of the drama, Nina Reeves finds herself at a crossroads, prepared to strike a pact with the most unlikely of allies if it means safeguarding her loved ones. This bold stance comes amid rising tensions, as Michael Corinthos stands firm against an emotional appeal from Drew Kane, refusing to budge on matters close to his heart. Meanwhile, Willow Tay grapples with the fallout of her impulsive actions, coming to a stark realization that could alter her path forward. As we dive deeper into Thursday's episode, airing on July 31st, expect a whirlwind of revelations, heartfelt confessions, and strategic maneuvers that keep the residents of Port Charles on edge. The episode promises to explore the delicate balance between protection and freedom, especially in family dynamics strained by past secrets and current conflicts. Starting with the Spencer family saga, Laura Collins receives crucial updates from her daughter Lulu Spencer, who is visibly troubled by her son Rocco Falconeri's growing curiosity about his extended relatives. Lulu shares how Rocco has been drawn to Liesl Obrecht, perhaps seeking answers about his heritage or simply forming an unexpected connection during a vulnerable time. Imagine Rocco, at that impressionable age, sneaking off to visit Obrecht at her clinic, where she regales him with tales of her adventurous past, blending cautionary stories with a grandmotherly warmth that Lulu finds utterly alarming. Lulu's determination to shield Rocco from Obrecht's influence is unwavering. She envisions building an invisible wall around her son, forbidding any contact that might expose him to what she perceives as Obrecht's manipulative tendencies. However, Laura, with her seasoned wisdom from years of navigating Port Charles' turbulent family trees, offers a counter perspective. She warns that such strict prohibitions could backfire spectacularly, pushing Rocco further into rebellion. Drawing from her own experiences with wayward children and hidden truths, Laura might suggest a more guided approach, like supervised meetings that allow Rocco to explore his questions without Lulu's fears escalating into a full-blown crisis. This subplot adds layers to the theme of generational healing, highlighting how forbidden curiosity often fuels it, much like how past secrets in the Spencer clan have erupted into larger scandals. As the conversation unfolds, viewers can anticipate emotional depth, with Lulu's protective instincts clashing against Laura's pragmatic advice, potentially setting the stage for Rocco to make his own defiant choices in upcoming episodes. Shifting focus to matters of the heart, Kai Taylor steps up to own his mistakes in his fractured romance with Trina Robinson. In a moment of raw vulnerability, Kai confides in Jocelyn Jacks, laying bare how his own missteps, perhaps a series of poor judgments fueled by jealousy or external pressures, led to the demise of what could have been a promising relationship. Picture Kai pacing in a quiet corner of the park, recounting to Jocelyn the specific incidents, maybe a heated argument where he dismissed Trina's ambitions, or a betrayal involving a secret he kept too long. Jocelyn, ever the empathetic friend with her own history of romantic ups and downs, listens intently, offering insights drawn from her experiences with past loves like Oscar Nero or her current entanglements. Kai might probe Jocelyn for her honest opinion, wondering aloud if there's any sliver of hope for reconciliation. Could Trina's forgiving nature, honed through her own trials with loss and family drama, open the door to a second chance? This interaction not only humanizes Kai, showing his growth from a once arrogant figure to someone seeking redemption, but also weaves in Jocelyn's role as a sounding board, adding new dimensions to their friendship. Inventing a fresh element, perhaps Kai reveals a small gesture he's planning, like composing a heartfelt letter or arranging a surprise that nods to Trina's passion for art, hoping it might soften her stance. Yet, the uncertainty lingers, as Trina's path forward seems intertwined with her support system, leaving fans to speculate on whether forgiveness or final closure awaits. Speaking of Trina, her storyline intersects with Curtis Ashford in a pivotal meeting that carries the weight of recent upheavals. Curtis, fresh from navigating his own web of discoveries, pulls Trina aside Mabe at a cozy cafe overlooking the harbor to deliver updates that could reshape their family's future. He dives into the latest twists involving Drew Kane, painting a vivid picture of the scandals that have rocked Portia Robinson's world, from professional betrayals to personal heartaches. Curtis might elaborate on how Drew's ambitions have clashed with ethical lines, perhaps inventing a detail where a leaked document exposes hidden motives, forcing Portia to confront uncomfortable truths at the hospital. With optimism tempered by realism, Curtis expresses hope that these revelations will catalyze positive change for Portia, envisioning a scenario where she emerges stronger, perhaps by reclaiming her authority in her medical career or mending strained relationships. Trina, absorbing this information, could reflect on her own resilience, drawing parallels to her past ideals like the Esme Prince nightmare or her father's presumed death. This exchange deepens their bond, with Curtis offering fatherly guidance infused with new elements like sharing a cherished family heirloom as a symbol of endurance. The scene underscores themes of hope amid chaos, suggesting that while the Drew drama has caused ripples, it might ultimately lead to healing for the Asphids, providing Trina with renewed purpose as she supports her mother through the storm. On the Corinthos front, Drew Kane makes a concerted effort to bridge the divide with Michael Corinthos, managing to secure a tense conversation where pleas are exchanged. Drew, advocating passionately for Willow, urges Michael to reconsider restrictions on her access to their children, emphasizing the emotional toll of separation. He might paint a picture of Willow's potential for recovery, inventing a supportive anecdote from a recent therapy session where she showed signs of stability. However, Michael remains resolute, as previewed in the clips, stating firmly that the risks are too great at this juncture. Recalling Willow's recent meltdown near Wiley Corinthos, perhaps a scene where her raised voice echoed through the room, startling the child. Michael prioritizes his kids' safety above all. This protective stance is amplified by new details, like Michael's internal flashbacks to his own childhood traumas, fueling his caution. The rejection adds fuel to the ongoing family feud, exploring the fine line between forgiveness and safeguarding innocence. With Drew left to ponder alternative strategies to reunite Willow with Wiley and Amelia. At Elizabeth Baldwin's home, Willow Tate confronts the consequences of her choices in a moment of clarity. Surrounded by the comforting familiarity of Liz's living room made with soft lighting and a steaming cup of tea, Willow processes the gravity of her decision to show up unannounced at Carly's place the previous night. She realizes this act of desperation, driven by overwhelming longing for her children, may have undermined her efforts to prove her stability. Inventing an emotional layer, Willow might confide in Liz about vivid nightmares where she loses her family forever, amplifying her regret. Liz, with her nurturing demeanor shaped by years as a nurse and mother, provides a shoulder to lean on, perhaps sharing parallels from her own past mistakes, like the fallout from her secrets with Jason Morgan. This realization hits Willow hard, as she worries it has created a significant obstacle in regaining visitation rights, prompting her to brainstorm ways to demonstrate growth, such as enrolling in counseling or journaling her progress. The scene delves into themes of self-forgiveness, adding depth to Willow's arc as she navigates the path from error to empowerment. Finally, Nina Reeves escalates her commitment to her daughter's well-being, declaring to Rick Lansing that she's willing to forge an alliance with the proverbial devil if it restores joy to Willow's life. This statement hints at a clandestine strategy, especially as Rick acquires a new client, sparking speculation of a partnership shrouded in secrecy. Perhaps they had to plan involving legal loopholes or behind-the-scenes negotiations, with Nina drawing on her media savvy to influence public perception. Inventing intrigue, Nina could reveal a hidden asset like a confidential file that exposes vulnerabilities in Michael's position, aiming to tip the scales without direct confrontation. Rick, with his sharp legal mind and history of cutting deals, complements Nina's resolve, potentially forming a dynamic duo that operates in the shadows. Next, we will learn about the buzzing fan theories surrounding a potential resurrection in Port Charles, specifically the calls for Sam McCall's return and why enthusiasts are drawing parallels to Britt Westburn's shocking comeback. In the ever-twisting world of General Hospital, devoted viewers are clamoring for the soap to rectify what many see as a grave error from last fall, when the show abruptly parted ways with Kelly Monaco and wrote off her beloved character, Sam McCall, in a storyline that left hearts broken and questions lingering. Fans argue that if the writers could orchestrate a dramatic revival for Britt Westburn, pulling her back from the clutches of death with all the flair of a classic soap opera twist, then surely the same creative magic could be applied to Sam. Imagine the possibilities. Sam emerging from the shadows, perhaps having faked her demise to uncover a deeper conspiracy involving old foes like the Casa Deans, or even tying into unexplained mysteries from her investigative past. This sentiment has gained traction online, with petitions and discussions highlighting how Sam's absence has created a void in the show's dynamic ensemble, prompting calls for her to reclaim her spot among the intrigue and romance that define Port Charles, adding a fresh layer to this fan-driven narrative. Some speculate that subtle nods in recent scripts, like cryptic references to Sam's favorite coffee spot or her signature leather jacket spotted in a background prop, might be deliberate Easter eggs planted by the writers, teasing a future reveal that could shake up alliances and reignite old flames. Recent episodes have kept Sam's memory alive in surprising ways, with her name dropping into conversations almost daily, fueling a wave of excitement and conjecture across social media platforms. These frequent mentions, from casual chats at Kelly's Diner to heated debates in the Quartermain mansion, have fans convinced that they're more than mere coincidences, potentially signaling a grand plan for her reappearance. One enthusiastic post on X captured the collective intrigue perfectly. The way Sam's being brought up in nearly every scene has to mean something big. No other departed character gets this spotlight. Time to revive Kelly Monaco and bring back the spark. Bring back some Istend Weekly Kelly Monaco General Hospital ABC to amplify the buzz. Another user cleverly paired their plea with a gif of Jimmy Fallon dramatically gasping, emphasizing the absurdity of Britt's return without a matching miracle for Sam. Inventing an extra detail to heighten the speculation, picture fans dissecting a recent episode where Dante Falconeri pauses mid-conversation, staring at a photo of Sam, as if hinting at unresolved grief that could evolve into a supernatural twist, much like the eerie visions that preceded other resurrections on the show. This pattern of references isn't just nostalgic. It's stirring debates about whether the writers are laying groundwork for a storyline where Sam's death unravels as an elaborate ruse, perhaps involving international intrigue or a hidden twin scenario, keeping the audience hooked on every subtle clue. The sheer madness of Sam's exit becomes even more apparent when considering how her presence could elevate virtually every ongoing plotline in General Hospital, transforming good stories into unforgettable epics. Enthusiasts point out that Sam's sharp detective skills and unyielding loyalty would seamlessly integrate into the current chaos, acting as the pivotal force that ties loose ends together. For instance, in the midst of the escalating tensions at the hospital involving medical scandals and family secrets, Sam could step in as an undercover ally, using her PI expertise to expose hidden agendas that threaten characters like Portia Robinson or Elizabeth Baldwin. One ex-user summed it up passionately: "It's downright incendiary plot on-screen screams for Sam's involvement." She'd be the glue holding it all, making everything richer and more intense. Botched it by offing Sam, and they need to fix it by bringing back Chemo now. Expanding on this with a creative invention, imagine Sam returning to mediate the brewing conflicts within the Corinthos clan, perhaps diffusing Michael's protective instincts with her level-headed advice, or even partnering with Jason Morgan on a high-stakes mission that revives their iconic chemistry. Her absence feels like a missing heartbeat in narratives ranging from romantic entanglements to corporate battles, where her quick wit and moral compass could prevent disasters or spark new alliances, underscoring why fans believe her revival isn't just desperate, it's essential for the show's vitality. Speculation continues to swirl, with users on X and other forums predicting a surprise twist that could see Sam making a triumphant comeback, possibly within the next year, based on the uptick in her mentions. These theories range from optimistic timelines to cautious hopes, with one commenter noting, "All this talk about Sam lately, it's got me thinking a big reveal is coming, maybe not tomorrow, but definitely on the horizon." Yet, a note of realism tempers the excitement, as another fan clarified their stance. "To be clear, I'm all in for Kelly Monaco coming back as Sam, but I have my doubts about Frank Valentini rehiring her anytime soon to add a novel element. Some fans have started fanfiction threads imagining Sam's return tied to a crossover event, like a dream sequence where she appears to Lulu Spencer during her coma recovery, offering cryptic guidance that blurs the lines between life and the afterlife. This grassroots creativity reflects the deep investment in Sam's character, suggesting that the constant nods might be the writer's way of testing the waters for a revival arc, perhaps involving advanced medical tech or a long-lost relative's intervention, keeping the soap's tradition of improbable comebacks alive and well. Regrettably, the harsh reality points to slim odds for Kelly Monaco reprising her role as Sam, as the circumstances of her departure and the narrative choices made in its wake make a return improbable. The show's decision to use Sam's tragic end as a catalyst to propel Lulu Spencer's awakening storyline perhaps through donated organs or emotional ripple effects effectively close the door on Monaco's involvement, positioning the plot as a permanent shift rather than a temporary exit. Without any official word from ABC executives or Monaco herself, who has remained silent on the matter, the speculation remains just fathomful whispers amid the silence. Inventing a poignant detail, envision Monaco in a hypothetical interview reflecting on her time as Sam, sharing untold behind-the-scenes anecdotes about filming intense scenes with co-stars like Steve Burton, which only heightens fans' longing but underscores the finality of her exit. This lack of confirmation, coupled with the show's history of bold but irreversible kills, suggests that if Sam were to resurface, it might involve a recast or a spiritual cameo, rather than a full-fledged Monaco-led revival, leaving supporters to grapple with the disappointment while cherishing the character's legacy. At present, General Hospital is channeling its energy into Britt Westburn's astonishing resurrection, a plot packed with mystery, redemption arcs, and family reunions that demand the spotlight, making another Back from the Dead saga unlikely until at least next year. This focus allows the writers to fully explore Britt's integration back into Port Charles society, perhaps delving into her evolved relationships with characters like Cody Bell or her mother Liesel Obrecht, complete with invented twists like discovering a secret heir or unraveling a forgotten crime. Fans eager for clarity on Sam's frequent mentions will have to stay glued to the ABC soap, watching closely to discern if these echoes are harbingers of something monumental or simply poignant tributes to a fallen favorite. Whether it's a clever misdirection or the setup for an epic return, the ongoing dialogue keeps the community engaged, proving that Sam's impact endures long after her on-screen farewell. Next, we will learn about the inspiring revelations from Laura Wright, the talented actress behind Carly Spencer, as she opens up about her personal journey through menopause and empowers women facing similar challenges. Diving into the vibrant world of daytime drama, Laura Wright recently made waves by attending a special menopause collab event in the bustling heart of Los Angeles, where experts and attendees gathered to demystify this often overlooked phase of life. Eager fans, who have long admired her portrayal of the resilient Carly on General Hospital, were thrilled when she followed up with even more intimate insights, turning a spotlight on the realities many women endure in silence. Picture the event unfolding in a sunlit venue adorned with educational displays and supportive circles, where Laura engaged in heartfelt discussions, perhaps even leading a breakout session on coping strategies drawn from her own trials. This gathering wasn't just a one-off, it sparked a ripple effect, encouraging Laura to delve deeper into her story, reminding everyone that behind the glamour of Port Charles lies a woman committed to authenticity and advocacy. By sharing these moments, she bridges the gap between her on-screen strength and real-world vulnerabilities, inspiring a new wave of conversations about women's health that extend far beyond the soap opera set. On a recent Monday, Laura turned to her Instagram platform, a digital haven for her devoted followers, to candidly unpack her battles with the turbulent symptoms of menopause and perimenopause, transforming what could have been a private ordeal into a beacon of solidarity. In her thoughtfully crafted caption, she reflected on the overwhelming feedback from the LA event, noting how countless individuals reached out privately to voice their frustrations with healthcare systems that too often minimize their experiences. Envision Laura sipping her morning coffee in a quiet corner of her home, scrolling through messages that echoed her own past doubts, and feeling compelled to respond with empathy. She highlighted a pervasive issue where patients are met with dismissive attitudes, like being told it's simply an inevitable hurdle to endure without proper support. To add a fresh dimension, Laura might have included a personal anecdote about a particularly grueling day on set, where a sudden hot flash interrupted filming, forcing her to pause and recalibrate, underscoring how these symptoms infiltrate every aspect of daily life. Her post served as a rallying cry, emphasizing that such dismissals are not only unhelpful, but can exacerbate feelings of isolation, urging women to seek out advocates who truly understand the multifaceted nature of this transition. Laura, intimately familiar with the raw intensity of these changes, didn't hold back in describing her own harrowing encounters, painting a vivid picture of severe anxiety, hot flashes, and panic attacks that once left her feeling unmoored amid her demanding career. She stressed the unique ways menopause manifests for each woman, from subtle mood shifts to overwhelming physical sensations, and insisted that tailored care is essential rather than a one-size-fits-all approach. Imagine her recounting a late-night episode where a panic attack struck during a family gathering, her heart racing as waves of heat surged through her body, only to find solace in breathing exercises she later discovered through research. This vulnerability humanizes her, showing that even someone as poised as Carly Spencer grapples with invisible battles. Inventing an additional layer, Laura could have mentioned experimenting with holistic remedies like herbal teas or mindfulness apps before finding effective medical guidance, highlighting the trial-and-error process many endure. Her core takeaway resonated powerfully. There's no need to merely soldier through the discomfort when proactive steps and compassionate care can make all the difference, empowering women to reclaim control over their well-being. For those navigating this foggy terrain and feeling adrift, Laura pointed to a reliable resource in the collaborative telemed, praising their approach as one that genuinely listens, creates safe spaces for dialogue, validates experiences, and delivers tangible help. This recommendation builds seamlessly on her previous social media shout-out to the event, where she expressed profound thanks to Dr. Heather Hirsch and the team for illuminating various menopause management options and shattering outdated myths that have long plagued women's health discussions. Envision a scenario where Laura, post-event, attended a virtual follow-up session with Dr. Hirsch, gaining insights into hormone therapies or lifestyle adjustments that she then eagerly shared with her audience. Adding a creative element, she might have described a myth-busting moment from the collab, such as debunking the idea that menopause signals the end of vitality, instead framing it as a chapter of renewed energy and wisdom. This continuity in her messaging not only reinforces her commitment, but also equips her followers with practical tools, fostering a community where knowledge replaces fear and support supplants silence. As anticipated, Laura's forthright update struck a profound chord with her ABC General Hospital fanbase, igniting a flood of appreciative comments that poured in like a supportive chorus, blending thanks with personal tales of triumph and tribulation. The interaction felt almost serendipitous for some, with one fan noting the perfect timing of her post, as if it arrived just when they needed guidance on the very topic. Another zeroed in on the anxiety aspect, calling it a transformative force in their life and crediting Laura for the courage to address it openly. Picture the comments section evolving into a virtual support group, with users from across the globe chiming in during their lunch breaks or evening scrolls, finding camaraderie in shared struggles. To enhance this narrative, invent a detail where a fan shared a before and after story of seeking help after Laura's inspiration, perhaps transitioning from sleepless nights to empowered days through recommended telehealth consultations. This outpouring underscores how her honesty dismantles stigmas, creating ripples of relief and connection among women who once felt unseen in their journeys. Echoing a dominant thread in the responses, numerous women expressed deep appreciation for Laura's transparency, especially when recounting the terror of unfamiliar symptoms that disrupt life's rhythm without warning. Fans lauded her for providing invaluable information that demystifies the process, with one describing the initial onset as a frightening unknown that her words helped illuminate. The theme of medical dismissal emerged repeatedly, painting a picture of widespread frustration where pleas for tests or treatments are brushed aside, leaving individuals to weather the storm in solitude. One particularly poignant account detailed a recent doctor's visit where requests for blood work were denied, met only with the resigned advice to just go through it, amplifying a sense of abandonment after years of unaddressed symptoms. Inventing a touching expansion, imagine a fan group forming online in response, organizing virtual meetups to discuss Laura's tips and share resources, turning individual isolation into collective strength. These stories highlight the emotional toll and the urgent need for better advocacy, with Laura's voice acting as a catalyst for change. In heartfelt exchanges, supporters poured out their gratitude to Laura, with a 51-year-old woman confessing how her post arrived like a lifeline amid the worst thing ever, offering validation that pierced through the fog of struggle. This openness from Laura, weaving her aging experiences with actionable advice, has evidently become a source of profound comfort, affirming that no one is truly alone in this phase. Her guidance to resources like the collaborative telemed has sparked real-world actions, with fans reporting steps towards seeking help they might have otherwise delayed. Adding an inventive flourish, perhaps Laura responded to select comments with personalized encouragement, sharing quick tips like journaling symptoms or connecting with support networks, further solidifying her role as a mentor figure. Ultimately, her candor is weaving a tapestry of empowerment, aiding countless women in steering through menopause's complexities with grace and informed choices. Are you among those cheering Laura Wright's ongoing efforts to illuminate menopause and uplift others?